sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good evening there and welcome to the latest Elite FPL podcast with myself, Stevo. It is the Cash Mini League Review show. Apologies for the slight technical issues a few seconds ago. I completely forgot, as someone has just said a minute ago, that I completely forgot about the fact that I was live. So you may or may not, I don't know if I can delete it or not, may have seen a bit of a blooper, shall we say. But anyway, this is literally just a Cash Mini League review. There is no going to be much chat about teams, rate my teams, ranting about anything. This is just purely Cash Mini League review for the Elite FPL. If it doesn't interest you, bye. See you later, because I'm not interested. I don't care. This is only going to be an hour long. I'm not going to be going on for too long. It may go on for a bit longer than that, but to be honest with you, I'm only going to be taking calls if you are part of the Elite FPL Cash Mini League, to be completely honest with you. Because it's tight. Our Cash Mini League is tight at the moment. And again, the reason why myself and Jason and former co-host Dan originally did this podcast is because of a Cash Mini League that we take very, very seriously. And this season is what you guys are part of. You guys are part of this Cash Mini League up on screen now, and that's what we're talking about. And we need to bring it to to our attention anyway, and talk about it. So like I said, this evening is just purely about the Cash Mini League. If you're not interested in that, see you later. Just goodbye, basically. Other than that, good evening. What a weekend, eh? I think we can all calm down now. I'm not going to lie. I am kind of sick to death of fantasy football at the moment. You could be saying, well, in a minute, aren't you somebody that does live streaming on YouTube? Yes, but again, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you. I alliterate that point. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy tonight because, like I said, it's going to be talking about people that are doing really, really well. I'm also going to be going through popular members of the community, whereabouts they are in the mini league. I apologise if I'm not... There's about 15 teams I'm going to go through. So please, if anybody's watching live in chat, why haven't you mentioned my team? It's because there's 98 teams in the league and I can't go through every single one. I'm just literally going to go through regular callers or just popular members of the Elite FPL community, to be honest with you. So yes, like I said, we'll start off with Marlon Moore, who is back top of the Elite FPL Mini League, Cash Mini League. He's on 421 points. We'll bring up his team now. He's only 4 points clear of second place, Andrew Fong. So here's Marlon's team at the moment. Looking good. And what I'm going to be interested in is to look at differentials that these teams have got. And I look at this team, and when I say differentials, I'm just talking about, for instance, in Marlon's case, Buffal as an example that he brought in. Ashley Barnes is a bit of a differential within the Elite FPL community. I don't know the exact statistics, but based on what I'm seeing whenever I'm scouring through various teams and everything, I pretty much know what players most people have got. And I will at some point do the research, write in the old book, Daily Llama, the old book, and I'll just find out what the differentials are. And I'm a bit frustrated that I don't actually do any of this, but the irony is, of course, is that it's because I'm doing so much of this. And yeah, I did want to take a break, but I thought, no, this is more important, to be honest with you. I think it's more important engaging with you, the audience, specifically the Elite FPL community, regarding the Cash Mini League. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, obviously Marlon Moore, he didn't have Zinchenko playing, so Lundstrom came on. So absolutely, as I always say, loving life. So yeah, really, really nice team. He is overall rank. He's within 2,000, 1,599th. But if that's anything to go by, and our league's anything to go by, I reckon it's really, really tight in the overall rankings at the moment. So there's Marlon Moore's team there. His only real differential that I can see in there are, well, Ashley Barnes, McGinn and Buffal. And again, I reiterate this point, is that it's just based on my opinion on the teams that I see consistently being posted in the Rate My Teams, or the teams, basically for anybody that comes live on air, whenever I see their teams, basically. It's not based on any facts whatsoever. Anyhow, moving on to second place, Andrew Fong. He has moved down from top spot and he's now into second place. Like I said, he's only 4 points off top spot. More importantly, he's 9 points ahead of third place, which is good. He did have a vice captaincy swap over, so Salah came in for him as Sterling didn't play. Mason Mount came in for him as the substitute. Obviously, he only got 2 points. Again, looking at Andrew's team here, Tom Heaton, Aurier, Callum Wilson is a bit of a differential, of course, within our Cash Mini League. So, looking at that, Well done, Andrew. You are, where are you overall in the world? Just over 2,000, 2,382nd. A very, very good rank indeed. But what I really like about this particular Cash Mini League at the moment is that really tight. Really, really tight indeed. Moving on to third spot is Wayne Hanley. Show me the Mane. He's a regular in the chat. His vice captain came in with Salah. Sterling obviously didn't play. And I wonder who came in as a substitute for him. And it was Van Dijk. So Van Dijk came in for him. He got a cracking, a lot of high scores in the top four. I haven't even mentioned who these people are score-wise. But again, Mopay, McGinn, Buendia, Maguire, Robertson, Van Aanholt. All differentials. And look how well he's doing this season. Absolutely stunning. He's got third substitute in Lundstrom right there. Must be very, very annoyed at that, but what can you do about that? And he's 7,044th in the world. And finally, fourth spot, the fourth Cash Mini League spot. It's top four places to let people know. We got Nasty Balls. Nasty Balls seems to be first within the chat. His name's Dan Simpson. 83 points, made no transfers. His vice captain came in with De Bruyne, unless he already captained De Bruyne. Can't work that one out actually, but either way, De Bruyne coming in there. And why is Mane yellow flagged? Dead leg. Why? Right, okay. Again, I never understand why FPL Towers do that, but whatever. Some lovely differentials in his team there with Firmino, Montoya. Absolutely gorgeous. But that team is absolutely fantastic. I talked about Firmino last night with FPL Tips. FPL Tips was at the game last night, Liverpool-Chelsea, and he did say that Firmino's looking really, really lively, looking really, really good. He mentioned that Mane wasn't looking that great yesterday, but he certainly said that if you're going to go with Liverpool attack, it's got to be Salah. He was at the game yesterday, and it was Salah. Finally, I'll just quickly go over Jason's team. He's now dropped all the way down to 46th. So Jason is down to 46th spot. He's 50 points off fourth place. So we'll just quickly bring up Jason's team. Of course, he took a minus 16 this particular game week. I know we keep banging on about it, but minus 16, triple captain Aguero. Let's just remind ourselves of how his team did in the end. 66 points. Very, very good score, but minus 16. We're talking 15 points. He didn't get Lundstrom off the bench in the end because Daniel James played. I still look at that team. We all know he did a transfer this week, so just to remind everybody, he's already taken a minus 4. He's taken Aubameyang out, Iwobi out for Abraham and Son. So to reiterate, it's Iwobi and Aubameyang out for Son and Abraham. They're really, really nice moves. He's slowly upgrading that midfield now. The nice differential pick in Rico coming through, obviously, with the assist there. It's an okay team. I'm not gonna. It's not brilliant, but you know, who am I to judge? He's doing a lot better than me. And then me, I'm all the way down in 74th spot. I'm 69 points off fourth place. I was really, really disappointed. Really disappointed in my game week in the end, considering Aubameyang came through, considering I had Rico. Basically, I had 6 points coming off the bench. I'm fully aware that a lot of people had their vice captaincies and all that malarkey, but wow, okay. Nasty Balls actually captain Kevin De Bruyne. Well done to you. Well done to you. So you didn't have him coming on as vice captain. He actually came through as... He was actually your captain. Well done to you there, mate. But yeah, once Aubameyang got the goal, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be hopeful that I can actually climb the ranks. Unfortunately, as GW6 broke the news to me, I only moved up to 1.3 million. Brilliant, from 1.6, and 69 points off fourth. Not great whatsoever, but like I said, if you want to come live on there, I'm only really willing to talk to people that are part of the Cash Mini League. Maybe talk about how you're thinking of trying to catch the top four really within our mini league. That would be quite interesting to hear. But other than that, I'm not going to be doing any rate my teams, any of that malarkey. I'm just going to try and do this a quick short stream and just get on with it really, to be honest with you, because we'll be here all day pretty much. Talking of John Harris in chat, Ramsey Sinclair, I'm assuming you're talking about. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about your teams in a minute, so we'll just quickly bring up your teams. This really is old school, isn't it? Daily Llama will appreciate this. This is full-on old school Elite FPL pod, YouTube, podcasting, whatever, because this is what we used to do all the time. And just to remind everybody, on November the 2nd, myself and Jason, we're going to be celebrating our 1 year anniversary. That's right, our 1 year anniversary live streaming. Officially, anyhow. Daily Llama straight in there. Do I even know how to do short streams? The answer is 9. But in this case today, I'm sorry to disappoint everybody, but it is only going to be a short one. But, you're all here to get engaged or whatnot and be entertained by whatever rubbish I come out with. But November the 1st, get in your diaries. Myself, Jason, and special co-host will be doing a anniversary special, basically celebrating the first time we went live on YouTube. You may be thinking, what do you mean by that? Well, if you want to go back through the history, you can go to the website which Jason has set up, elitefpl.com. And simply put, you can go for our archive of our videos. But simply put, Game Week 11, November the 1st last year, was the first time myself, Jason and Dan went live. That's right. Beforehand, all we were doing were uploading videos. That was it. But just for a bit of background, you've heard it all before, but I'm going to say it again. Just for a bit of background, basically, it was taking so long to upload to YouTube that Jason just said, do you know what would be easier? If we just did it live. And we were like, do you think we should do it live? Jason was like, yeah, why not? And then after a period of time, I think it was Game Week 14, we actually had our first proper layout on screen. So Jason put the first layout on screen and everything. And so basically on the 1st of November, we're going to be getting on a load of special guests. Basically lots of the regular contributors to the Elite FPL podcast. We're going to get on people that were there from the very, 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 very beginning. The very beginning. And there's one individual that's still here that comes live today. That was the first person to comment in the live chat. And when I say the live chat, I just literally mean when myself, Dan and Jason went live for the first time, this individual was the first person to comment. We did a 59, I think Jason said it was a 59-minute stream. And this individual came on after 39 minutes. And he was the first person to comment and ask the three of us a question. And we're going to reveal all this on the 1st of November. It's all going to be a bit like This Is Your Life, to be honest with you. It's going to be a bit of fun. Like I said, we're not going to be discussing fantasy football, so to speak. It's just going to be talking all things fantasy football. Like I said, we're going to get regular community members that have come on since the start, really. And that's what I'm kind of doing tonight, really. I just want to kind of highlight some of the more popular / regular community audience members that join us either live or are using the Discord on a regular basis, that truly are the foundations of what myself and Jason bring to you, to be honest with you. Because if it wasn't for you guys, this wouldn't be happening. We wouldn't be approaching 2,500 subscribers. So that's another thing as well. If you haven't subscribed and you enjoy the content that myself and Jason bring to you, simply hit that subscribe button. We are virtually a daily podcast on YouTube. We are going to be having a break, or I'm going to be having a break tomorrow. I genuinely can't remember the last time we had a day off, to be honest with you. But we are going to be having a break tomorrow, and then I'm going to be back, I think, on Wednesday morning. So Wednesday morning, there is going to be the Elite FPL breakfast show for our Southern Hemisphere fans to get involved with. It's going to be a bit of the preview for Gameweek 6, to be honest with you. And last time I went live, it was 6 a.m. in the morning, UK time, and we went on for 3.5 hours, I think it was. So yeah, if you want to get up early, any of the UK fans, you're more than welcome to join me at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's usually between 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning I go live in the morning. But if not, it doesn't matter. You can watch from the replay. But they are predominantly for our Southern Hemisphere fans. Predominantly, let's be honest here, New Zealand and Australia. So anybody down there right now watching this on the replay, or even watching live potentially, I'll be going live at some point that morning. But yeah, our man Dylan, the next team that I'll look at, he's 6th in our Cash Mini League. He's only 7 points off 4th spot. Really, really well this season. It was such a pleasure having him live on air. We could actually get a coherent conversation. I apologise, I can't remember specifically where you are in the world, but it's a long way away, basically. And he got 68 points. It's a nice looking team. It's a nice looking team. His vice captain came in with Son. Very, very lucky getting Son in. His players that came in as substitutes were Lundstrom and Mings. So Hanley and Sterling out, Lundstrom and Mings in. So congratulations to you there, our man Dylan, 68 points, and you are 19,623 in the world. An absolutely superb rank. I am going in chronological order. So up next is Charlie, aka Chicken Tikka Mo Salah. You'll recognise the name there. He's 9th in the Cash Mini League, and he is 11 points off the final cash place in 4th. He went with Aguero captain. He came on live last night. He was gutted about having Lundstrom as 3rd stub, because why? He didn't expect Daniel James to play because FPL Towers decided to flag him, and he just put Lundstrom on. It was just basically an automatic substitution bench, and Lundstrom was just by pure coincidence 3rd. Unfortunately, didn't come on, and it was Daniel James. So he ended up on 73 points. Very, very good score though. It's an excellent score this particular game week. And he is 28,982nd in the world. Moving on to Keyboy, one of our New Zealand correspondents. He is 15th in the Cash Mini League. Doing really, really well this year. He was the guy that, simply put, took my advice or my words of wisdom, and a few weeks ago captained Kevin De Bruyne ahead of Sterling in the Brighton game. And he was absolutely loving life. So he's ending up on 72 points. His vice captain Salah came in. That is a gorgeous team. Look at that. That is an absolutely gorgeous team for this specific game week anyway. Although we had Dendoncker coming on for Sterling. Ouch. It's a terrible bench. Kelly, Greenwood and Dendoncker. Ugh. But yes, it's a very, very solid team, especially with nice differentials like Callum Wilson in there, Emerson, Otamendi specifically for this game week, Matt Ryan as well. Brilliant. And Matt Ryan, of course, getting 3 blink. I swear, Matt Ryan this season has got more points in the opening, in just 2 games alone, which is game week 1 and game week 6, than he ever got for me for 15 game weeks when they had green fixtures. Absolutely ludicrous. And I'm absolutely fuming about that. Moving on to, you all know him, it's Daily Llama. He's 23rd in the Cash Mini League. He's 33 points off 4th spot. He dropped down to 23rd. He captained Aguero this week. Yeah. But Rico came on for him off his bench. He got 70 points this particular game week. He's 184,814th in the world. Again, it's a lovely... This is his... This isn't his wildcard team, but he wildcarded in game week 5. And there we have it up on screen right now. Moving on to my friend, very close friend in fact, Nick Reed. Looking forward to Poppies on Wednesday, my friend. Just make sure you let me know what time to meet up with you. I may even wear my green tie and shirt, and I may get a selfie with you again and post it up on the Discord. Who knows? But he's 27th in the Cash Mini League, and it wasn't in game week 1. He was actually first. He captained Aguero. This was his free hit, though. He took a free hit. 75 points. Excellent. Absolutely fantastic. And do you know what? It's game weeks like this where it's such a relief when in a single game week your chip pays off. And in this case, Mr. Reed, your chip's paid off. 75 points. Absolutely fantastic. I'll just quickly read out for people on audio his free hit. It was Nick Pope in goal, Vestergaard, Rico, Lundstrom, Cantwell, Son, De Bruyne, Mane, Pukki, Aubameyang and Aguero captain. Fantastic. Well done to you there. And it's helped you move up to 27th and you are 36 points off a 4th spot. Moving on to FPL Penguin. You're 33rd in our Cash Mini League. Actually, let's just quickly do Statman. Actually, I didn't actually do Statman, but he's dropped down to 28th in our Cash Mini League. Sterling not playing. It's the same old story. Sterling not playing, Kelly not playing, Lundstrom and Montoya coming in. But he got the same points as me, 63. 63 points. Aguero captain. Would have been disappointed, but it's just the Montoya and Lundstrom. What an amazing 2 substitutes coming off the bench there. Well done to you. So yeah, going on to FPL Penguin. 33rd in the Cash Mini League. I know for a fact he captained Kevin De Bruyne, 60 points. It must be so disappointing when you've captained the best player this game week and you end up on 60 points when you're seeing teams getting 70s, 80s. And yeah, only 60 points. And you had nobody coming off your bench either, I don't think. No, you had nobody coming off your bench either for Sterling or Lanzini. God, blimey. Or Zinchenko. So you had Zinchenko, Lanzini, Sterling, and nobody coming off your bench. Ouch. Oh well, you are a rival, but you're beating me, so there's no... I can't really laugh, to be honest with you, because I'm doing absolutely hopelessly, being all the way down in 74th spot. Sorry. All the numbers in the world there. Clement LaRue. There's a name that's been with us for a very, very long time. It'd be really, really nice to get you on live on air, Clement LaRue. You're more than welcome to join us as a guest on the anniversary show. So on November the 1st, if you want to join in the Discord waiting room and talk to myself, Jason, and our special co-host. Do you know what? I don't know why I keep saying it's Dan. You probably all guessed it. Dan is going to be joining us. So the 3, as Dan used to say, the 3 amigos are back together for one stream this particular season. We are going to be celebrating our 1-year anniversary. So the 3 amigos are back, as Dan always, in ode to Dan, as Dan used to say. We're back, and we are going to be basically celebrating 1 year of streaming, and we just want to talk about basically how well we've done in a year, basically, and what our thoughts are and what your thoughts and what thoughts are and whatnot about how this has evolved. Basically, it'll be just fantastic. But moving on to Clement Leroux's team, an extraordinary score of 88 points. He is now 42 points off 4th spot. Let's have a look at his team, shall we? He had Lundstram and Soyuncu coming on for Sterling and Lanzini. Wow. I'll just quickly read out his team for people listening on audio. So this is an 88-point team. Overall rank is 335,000. So we got Nick Pope in goal, Digne, Alexander-Arnold, Otamendi, Lundstram, Soyuncu, Salah, Cantwell, De Bruyne, who got the vice-captaincy points, Barnes and Pukki. Wow. It's just Otamendi, Lundstram and De Bruyne, isn't it? And Alexander-Arnold that got your main bulk of points. That is absolutely cracking. Fair play to you, Clement Leroux. And like I said, you're more than welcome to join us on the celebration of the 1-year anniversary of the Elite FPL podcast. Because like I said, you have been there since the beginning. Moving on to Ramsey Sinclair. You are there. I know you are. Because I've just seen you chatting away. Ramsey Sinclair, you are 36th in the Cash Mini League. Sheffield United, 56 points. And you must be disappointed considering all the teams around us are getting such high points. Your captain Aubameyang paid off in the end. And you are 43 points off the fourth spot there. Nice looking team. Matt Brunton, one of our moderators. You'll recognise him in the chat. He is 39th in our Cash Mini League. Sick to death of saying Cash Mini League, to be honest with you. But you're 39th. Let's just quickly bring up your team, shall we? Let's bring it up on screen. Again, I'm only doing this because, like I said, I'm only going to be going on for maybe less than an hour. So, like I said, if you're not enjoying this, bye. See you later. There's a clip for your llama. In fact, if you want to clip something, it's basically that is from the Simpsons. When the Simpsons leave Springfield and they're all, bye. But whatever. Yeah, like I said, if you're not enjoying this, I'm sorry. This is a bit self-indulgent for the Cash Mini League players, but unfortunately that's the way it goes. But we all know why you're watching anyway, because you enjoy our content, and I can only thank you. There is a hell of a lot of people watching this. There's over 140 people. That's amazing, considering this is a bit of a niche YouTube stream tonight. So hello everybody, welcome to this special Mini League Cash Mini League review. But we're on Matt Brunton's team at the moment. 61 points. He is 398,000th in the world. Captain Pepe. And funny enough, I don't know if anybody saw my tweet that I put out earlier on. I'll quickly bring it up on the stream if technology helps me out here, which it should do. So here we go. Let's bring it up on screen right now. So I put out a tweet on at Elite FPL, and I screenshotted something that Fantasy Football Scout posted up earlier on, which was basically Unai Emery's comments about why basically why Aubameyang didn't take the penalty. And essentially, typical, I can't actually see it. What's going on? This is amazing. This is what happens when you do everything live. In fact, funny enough, Sultan Saeed brought up a very funny moment when he was telling me, and I completely forgot about this, when he told us about the fact that I used to do this on my PlayStation 4. That's crazy. I used to do this on a PlayStation. All of this used to be done on a PlayStation 4 and through a mobile phone. So anybody watching this now, what you're seeing is basically me in front of a webcam. I've got my laptop down here. I've got the lighting and everything. Before, and we had none of that. I used to balance my mobile phone on my cupboard, and I used to film myself when we could live stream on YouTube, And I used to do it all through my PlayStation 4. And what I used to do is, in fact, forget that. I can't find the tweet, but sorry. Essentially, before I go off on the tangent here, essentially, Unai Emery just agreed with me and or said what I said last night and what... I can't remember the caller's name. I apologise, but one of the callers that came on, and he was a really... In fact, you know what? He's a really, really good caller as well. And I apologise that I forget who that was, but he... He also... Dan Ball saying... Dan Ball, our former co-host. If you want to... By the way, Dan... Actually, Dan, if you want to come live on air, you can do. I'll happily take Dan. So, Dan, if you want to come live on air, we'll talk to you once I've done this quick... review, and we'll get your thoughts on Arsenal. I'd like you to talk about Arsenal, if you don't mind. I'd like you to come live on air, to be honest with you. But, what was I talking about? Oh, the tweet, basically. Unai Emery came out with whatever, and he simply said that he believes that Aubameyang is the penalty taker, but he thinks that Aubameyang gave the penalty to Pepe to give him confidence. Simply put. So there we are, basically. Yeah, and he did the same thing with Lacazette. That's what the caller said last night. But congratulations to Matt Brunton there. Well done to you. You had Pepe as captain. Absolutely ridiculous, but whatever. Considering you had Sterling in there, you didn't go with him, and you didn't go with De Bruyne either. So that is a ballsy move, as they say. We're nearly done, so don't panic. We've just got a few teams to go through. Up next, it's John Harris. John Harris, another one. Last year, John Harris, didn't he win? I'm going to quickly look at chat. I'm sure people that have been there. Did John Harris win the Community League last year? I'm almost certain he did. I apologise that I've completely forgotten, but I'm almost certain that John Harris won the Community League last year. I'm almost absolutely certain of that. But this year he's not having such a great season. And this is his second season, by the way, ever playing. Last season, I apologise. In fact, why don't I just find out? Idiots. Where is he again? He's 55th in our Cash Mini. He's joint 55th, in fact, in our Cash Mini League. So he's joint 55th with Brett Mollison, and we'll bring up Brett Mollison in a minute. But John Magic, or John Harris, yeah, he's John Magic in the Discord. But where did he end up last year? He ended up 809th, and that was his, look at that, that was genuinely his first season, everybody. So John Harris there, he's a regular contributor. He ended up 809th in the world, but he did so well last year. And yeah, this season, it's not going so well after all. And let's just quickly remind ourselves of his team. He got 58 points. Zinchenko not playing. Sterling didn't play. On came Cantwell and Lundstrom. So he had coming off pretty well. Had Salah as vice-captain, but the rest of his team. Yeah, just for people on audio quickly. Heaton, Dean, you're in there. Wan-Bissaka not doing anything. Like I said, Cantwell, Pukki, Ceballos, Allaire, and not doing much there whatsoever. Finally, just quickly going on to Brett Mollison, joint 55th in the Cash Mini League. He, again, he's another one. He's having a better season so far than last year, I've got to admit. 70 points. 5-4-1 formation. Although Sterling didn't play again. His vice-captain De Bruyne coming in. Lundstrom coming in for Sterling, would you believe? 5-4-1 formation there. And, we had Mina. Oh, ouch. He had... moving on to GW6, one of our moderators. So GW6, he is 60th in our mini league. We are coming towards the end of this, so don't panic, everybody. Like I said, if you are finding this boring, I'm sorry, but this is more important. This is why we do the podcast. This is about the Cash Mini League that we take very, very seriously indeed. There are 98 people in this Cash Mini League. And by the way, for anybody that is watching this and thinking, how can I get into the Cash Mini League? Entries close at literally the day before game week 1. So there's no point in asking. However, you can join the free mini league. So the free mini league is there to join. You're more than happy. And what I'll do is I'll put the code into chat, and we are going with abdkzz. So if you want to join the free Elite FPL mini league, you're more than welcome to. It's abdkzz. I'm about to post it in the chat. There we are. So for people that are listening in and don't quite understand this, it's Alpha, Bravo, Delta, Kilo, Zulu, Zulu. There we are. And gee whiz there, live in chat. There we are. Just quickly answering the question here. Yo Green basically asking about whether you had to pay to join the mini league at the start. Yes, that's as simple as it gets. So when the season started, myself, Dan and Jason decided to do a cash mini league, and basically it was a very, very, very complicated process for Jason. I just want to say thank you for Jason. In fact, you can all thank Jason in the chat right now to say thank you, because if it wasn't for him, this cash mini league would not be here today, really, because he was the one that set it up. He took so much time out of his day, filtering through emails, various conversations about paying, because this is a worldwide cash mini league. This isn't just a couple of people down the road. This is worldwide, and he had to work out currencies and back and forth conversations. So, Jason, this cash mini league is down to you. Moving on to Sultan Saeed. Yep, Sultan Saeed. I wonder if you're there watching now. You're another one that's been there since virtually the beginning of this particular podcast. You are 64th in our cash mini league, and we've only got 2 teams after this, so everybody can finally hear Dan in a minute. So Dan, our former co-host, will be coming live on air in a minute, but let's bring on Sultan Saeed's team. He had 57 points. He had Salah as his vice-captain coming on. He had then Donker and Lundstrom coming on as his subs for Zinchenko and Sterling. But he didn't have anybody coming on for Lanzini, unfortunately. So there's his team up in full there. Moving on to the penultimate team, it's Vince Chapman. Vince Chapman, another one that's been with us since virtually the start of the beginnings of the Elite FPL podcast. And again, we'd love to get you live on air on that celebratory stream on November the 1st. So Vince Chapman, you moved up to 65th. 61 points off. I haven't even mentioned that now, but 61 points off 4th spot. Oh, you're one of the few people that didn't have anybody coming on as a sub. I remember you coming live on air. Came live on air with us. And yeah, you got 78 points. This is your wildcard team. 78 points. I'll read it out for people on audio. So this is a wildcard team. Nick Pope, Otamendi, Rico, Digne, Cantwell, Son, Salah, De Bruyne, Aguero captain, Pukki and Abraham. On the bench, we've got Lundstrom, Tomori and Hayden. And finally, FPL Boona. All the way down. I say all the way down, he's above me. You're above me, Boona. Take something out of that wherever you will, but he's 67th in the Cash Mini League. Like I said, he's above me. That's the main thing. I say the main thing. You're not. Let's bring up his team quickly. A very, very disappointing 56 points. And is just... I will make him sick. I will make him a bit annoyed, but he did take out Kevin De Bruyne for Son. Yeah, so Kevin De Bruyne out for Son. How unfortunate. Absolutely. Yeah, that is sickening. Missing out on 12 points. Absolutely sickening. I can't imagine how you felt about that. Horrid. I suppose is the word. But yeah, there's his team there. And he is 62 points off 4th spot. But he did have Lundstrom coming off the bench, so I suppose that made up really for the Kevin De Bruyne points, really. But yeah. Anyhow, we're going to bring on Dan Bull. Once again, thank you everybody for joining us. Again, this stream is only going to go on for another 15 minutes or so. It's only a quick stream. We're just reviewing. I'm going to bring up Dan's team. He is above me, so he's going to be loving life at the moment, being above me in the Cash Mini League at the moment. Not by much though. He's not above me by much. So I'm on 336 points. Dan, there he is. So he's 12 points ahead of me. So let's just bring up his team, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring Dan, our former co-host, live on air. I want him mainly to be talking about Arsenal, but first of all, we'll bring him live on air to discuss his team and his game week to start with, and then we'll talk all things. Well, he can talk all things Arsenal. I'm gonna shut up basically, but yeah. So I'm just gonna put in my headphones. Let's bring them on, and let's bring Dan live on air. Hey, Dan, mate.
Hello.
Hello, Dan, mate. Well, welcome. How are you? Good evening.
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I was just finishing off my dinner. You know me, mate.
Standard. So we got your team up on the screen. Do you want to? I'll just quickly go for it, and then you can just talk us through, because you did a -4. You can tell us about your transfers in a minute. So we've got Tom Eaton in goal, Loughton, Digne, Lundstrom, Salah, Cantwell, McGinn, nice one. Sterling was your captain, but vice-captain Salah. Unfortunately, you had nobody coming off the... Oh, yeah, you did. Sorry, you had Lundstrom coming in for Zinchenko, yeah. De Bruyne, Aubameyang and Pukki. Dan, tell us about your game week.
Mate, it was proper emotional roller coaster. Obviously, I sent you that WhatsApp message yesterday morning when I was like, I hate FPL. I really hate FPL, because I was on about 28 points by that point. And the thing was, Lundstrom was my second sub.
28 points after what's timing, if you know what I mean?
That was about... I mean, I checked. As you know, obviously, I avoid the scores. And I was watching the match today, and it was about 11:30, 12. It was before the 2 o'clock kickoff. So, obviously I was watching match of the day, and I was like, hold on a minute, Sterling's not playing, Zinchenko's not playing. And then I was like, oh my God, is Kelly going to come off the bench against Wolves? But then, funny enough, I watched Soccer Saturday, and I think you were talking with a caller about Kelly. He didn't start against Spurs when they lost 4-0 away. And it was like, obviously, he's not always a first team selection. So there was a bit of a tense moment where I was just like, oh God, please don't come off the bench. Please don't come off the bench. And come back from football yesterday, and I was just like, Wolves, Crystal Palace, did Kelly start? Did he come off the bench? Did he come off the bench? And I was just so relieved, because I was just so angry that Lundstrom was like my second sub, because I mean, Everton have been... I don't know what is going on at Everton at the moment. And even watching the highlights, they... Sheffield United played all right, but they had basically one shot on target and won 2-0. So, but yeah, I was just so relieved about that. And obviously watched the Arsenal game. And, of course, McGinn scored. But you know what I'm like. I mean, obviously you've been with me in the pub. When an FPL player scores against Arsenal, I'm still not happy. I'm like, right, okay, that's happened now, but I need Arsenal to come back in this game. And then obviously Aubameyang, we won the penalty, Guendouzi with his run into the box. And I was like, right, Aubameyang's going to get something now, because my transfers, I took a -4. I had 2 free transfers. And I think I discussed this last week in the chat. I think Lama wasn't too sure about this move, but I took out Van Dijk. I took out Mount because there was an injury concern about him, and then I took out Haller, which it was a bit of a shame to take out Haller, because kind of a bit of a differential in the Cash Mini League that we take very seriously. But I just thought, I looked at Aubameyang's fixtures and the way he's been playing for us at the moment, and the fact that Lacazette's injured and not set to come back until after the international qualifiers, and I was just like, got to get him in. So if I don't get him in this game week, I won't be able to afford him. So, I mean, yeah, it was. You know me, I like my cheap defenders, and I've had Van Dijk in, I've had Trent Alexander-Arnold in this season, and all these premium. And I'm kind of going back to my traditional and bringing in, obviously, Lowton, the Burnley defender, paid off as well. I wasn't too sure about that, but cheap defender, Burnley. I knew Burnley would beat Norwich. I just knew it, and I just could see it. And yeah, obviously, Cantwell didn't really pay off, but Norwich has still got some nice fixtures. But yeah, McGinn, obviously, I brought him in through my wildcard 3 game weeks ago, and yeah, he's done really well. And I'm just FPL is that thing where like it's just crazy how like you know on the Sunday morning you're just miserable, and then a few hours later your game week's completely changed, and it's like, oh, I feel all right now. So
let's talk to you before we'll talk Arsenal first, okay? And I do want to have respect. I do want to keep you live on air, and I want to. One of the key things that I liked about you as a co-host was, and by the way, everybody, this is Dan. Dan was our former co-host, and due to how shall we say, due to other commitments and the fact that his self-employed business is becoming a lot more busier, unfortunately he couldn't fulfill joining myself and Jason on a regular basis, but it's turned out for the better for yourself. But anyhow, the point being is that one of the best things about having you on the show was the fact that you watched football. You had an opinion on football, and it gave us a lot of insight into what's going on for real life. So I'm gonna review the game week with you, or I'm gonna get your thoughts on the game week. But we're gonna start with Arsenal, and whether you heard it or not yesterday, I think along with United, because you lot are playing United next week, it's the Dan and Jason derby. I classify as the clown derby, the bunch of clowns derby. Tell us. You watched the game yesterday. How on earth were you feeling yesterday when you were 1-0 down?
I mean, as I said about FPL, like my game week has been an emotional roller coaster. This was another emotional roller coaster, and like, particularly in that first half, I just felt like what the hell? I was going to swear then, but I know it's a family-friendly show. But I was just like, what the hell is going on? Because we've just had this really good result in the Europa League, winning 3-0 away at Frankfurt, and should have plenty of confidence from that match. And like, it was just, I mean, Socrates, like, I don't know what he was doing with Wesley when he was trying to get Wesley sent off. It was just embarrassing seeing that. And I just was like...
Sorry to... Here we go. Here's a blast from the past. Daily Lama, Sultan Saeed, Boona, you're going to love this. Sorry to interject. Can you explain to me why half your team received yellow cards?
Mate,
and including a red card for Maitland-Niles. What on earth is going on?
It was a very scrappy game. There was a lot of bad tempers. I mean, Xhaka got a stupid booking at one point for no real reason. Just did a bit of skill when he got angry and he got his customary booking. Maitland-Niles, I got to say, I don't really think that was a sending off because he got the ball initially, but he did follow through. And obviously the Aston Villa player did get a bit injured. It was a bit of a bad, injury for him. But yeah, it was just very bad temper game. Tom Heaton was kicking off at Guendouzi. Thought that Guendouzi was going down too easily. It was just and Wesley and Socrates. I mean, Socrates, I call him like the Greek Martin Keown, and Socrates is just like a mad dog. I mean, he is always up for starting a fight with the big centre forward up against him, and Wesley looked like he wanted to kick his head in at one point. It was just mad, and when it went to 2-1, I was just like, and I know, as you know, I've got a lot of mates that support Villa, so just all the WhatsApps and stuff are coming through, and it's just like, bloody hell, I'm not going to hear the end of this, like, for the whole season if Villa win. But you know what? Callum Chambers, I mean, he's been at the club now since 2014. He's, when he started, he was good at centre-back, and then they put him to right-back, and he got ripped up by Montero at Swansea back in 2015, I think it was. And just nice to see him get a goal. But I think it was like one of your callers said last week, from an FPL perspective, you can only rely on Aubameyang, really, at the moment. The rest of the team, is just not consistent enough.
Talking of the Aubameyang, would you agree with not only myself, not only with and again I apologise to the caller last night, and even Unai Emery, that it looks like Aubameyang gave the penalty to Pepe to just boost his confidence to get a goal. Would you agree with that?
100%, yeah. I think the thing with Aubameyang, like his personality, I really like it because he's very much like a team player. He plays with a smile on his face. The game is like a natural-born goal scorer, and if you compare it to Alexis, Alexis was a brilliant individual player for Arsenal, not taking that away. It's some amazing games, but he was very selfish. Aubameyang did this before with Lacazette when Lacazette's confidence was low, and this was a chance for Aubameyang to get a hat-trick, and he just said, look, you have the penalty, and that boosted Lacazette up. I think when Aubameyang first came to Arsenal, I was thinking, how is this going to affect Lacazette? Because Lacazette was like the big signing at the time, and then Aubameyang came in the January transfer window. And yeah, I think that's what he did. I mean, one of the guys in chat was saying, was it the right time to do it during the game? I wasn't totally sure about that because, yeah, I mean, it's all very well doing it when, you're 2 or 3-0 up, but when you're losing, it's like, But hopefully Pepe can kick on. I mean, he's not at the best start to his sort of Arsenal career because he sort of feels like he's trying to do too much, and people were comparing him to Jovino, which I think is a bit of a stretch. But I think if he can get a goal from open play, who knows? Maybe he could be one to watch. But at the moment, I think there's better value in the midfield at the moment. But it was just a crazy game. But when you've got a world-class striker like Aubameyang on form, leading the team, it's just you've always got a chance to get out of jail.
Can I get your thoughts on? Can I get your thoughts on Arsenal this season? How have you felt they've done in the 6 game weeks that we played?
You know what? I mean, it's, as I said to Jason the other week, with the defensive reinforcements we've got, Tierney hasn't played yet, Bellerin's still injured, Holding hopefully play against Forest. Maybe, they'll play against Forest and that'll be good. But it's still another transitional season. A lot of the experienced players have gone. Koscielny's gone, Czech's gone, Welbeck's gone, although Welbeck was always injured. But, I mean, it was disappointing that Monreal went, because I wouldn't mind have kept him for another season. But I think we've shown a lot of fight because, we were 2-0 down against Spurs. We were losing 2-1 against Villa with 10 men, and we'd come back in both games. Against Frankfurt, we got battered in the first half and then come back. And yeah, I think it's just a case of we've just got to find that defensive formation and unit that's going to work. I mean, I'm hoping Holden and Bellerin and Tierney come back and they gel together. But for a defence, it takes time. They can't just buy the players and straight away they're going to be a solid defensive unit. That you really need to work on that in pre-season training. But I have to say, Aubameyang's playing out of his skin. Guendouzi's kind of come to the fore as well this season. And yeah, I think, Pepe's got plenty of potential for the future. I'm happy with it so far, realistically, but, it's going to be a tough season.
At the start of the season, obviously myself and Jason did our predictions, and I won't lie, I said that 4th spot, Champions League spot, I think it'd be down to yourself and Chelsea, but I went with Chelsea, and then kind of towards the end of my prediction, I was like, because a lot of people in chat were kind of saying, nah, it ain't gonna happen. It's more than likely gonna be Arsenal, and I'm now kind of swaying a bit towards Chelsea because of your defence. It's just an absolute shambles, and I just think that you're going to get caught out and everything. And Chelsea are slowly turning the corner. Apparently, they played really, really well in the second half.
They did.
I can see them easing past Brighton. You've got Man United next. Now, admittedly, you're in the driving seat at the moment. You're 5th, aren't you, at the moment in the league? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's right. We won't beat United. We haven't beat
Oh
United
wow.
since 2006 at Old Trafford in the league.
Do you want to expand on that,
So,
because I think that I'm actually seriously contemplating captaining Aubameyang in that game, because I just think United are an
no.
absolute joke. But as FPL Boona made the point, United against the top teams this year, Chelsea and I forget who the other one was, they've kept 2 clean sheets. So, and you are a top team and everything, but I'm actually tempted by Aubameyang captain. So you're saying, man, you're not going to beat United. What are your thoughts on that game? And I know we got a preview on Thursday, but while we got you on air, let's hear your thoughts.
The thing is, Steve-O, like, it's literally 2006. Manuel Adebayor got the winner, and that's the last time we beat United in the league. And it's pretty disgusting, really, in your words. Like, our record there, we got a draw there last season when they were down on their knees under Mourinho in the last stages of his tenure. But we just can't. It just seems to be, obviously there's a bogey team, and like, I think there was one season when United played like, I think it was McNair and Young at the back, and they had really bad injuries. And I had a text from one of my friends saying, "Oh, United are gonna lose 5-0 and all this rubbish," and they still beat us, even with loads of injuries. And there was another time when they beat us 3-2 when we were trying to go for the league against Leicester, and they had like Carrick at the back and Blint at the back, and they were really down on their knees. And it just seems to be a thing that whenever United's on a downer and Arsenal seem to be on the up, United will always get one over on us. And it's an evening game at Old Trafford. So I was talking to some guys at the gym tonight about the football and stuff, and like, United have got a few injuries, but when they get those players back, I still think they got a chance to be in the mix. I mean, I think Chelsea, look, the way they played yesterday and the way they've done recently and scoring lots of goals, Mount, Abraham looking good. Chelsea are going to be strong as well. So it's going to be an interesting season. But if you gave me a free bet for that game, I'd say a draw. Aubameyang, not a bad shout as captaincy pick, but there may be better options out there.
So let's just quickly go through. I'm not going to go through every single fixture of the game week, but I'd just like to hear your thoughts on particular teams. And I'll instantly start with Bournemouth. 3-1 away at Southampton. That was genuinely a shock result for me. Your thoughts on your former Town's form at the moment? They're doing really well this year, especially Callum Wilson really, as well.
I know, this is the thing I've got against Callum Wilson. Whenever I've not got him in my team, he does really well. And when I get him in, he just blanks. But no, I'm really pleased to see Bournemouth do well. I mean, it's a sort of derby of sorts. They've never won at Southampton before. And like, yeah, obviously a brilliant result. I mean, that other Wilson, is it Ryan Wilson? Or somebody will correct me in chat, but Harry Wilson, sorry, yeah, he's been doing quite well recently. So that's quite interesting, little one to watch if Bournemouth get a nice run of fixtures. So, I mean, Brooks was the guy last season. So, and Ake, obviously a threat from set pieces as well. He's a good defender. So, yeah, I mean, I was a bit concerned about Bournemouth this season, but do you know what? They always seem to prove me wrong when I get worried. And, yeah, great to see Bournemouth win.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on bringing in Callum Wilson?
I mean, like I said, at the moment, I've got Aubameyang. I've got Pukki. I mean, Pukki's away form's not the best, but let's see how Pukki does for the moment. And obviously, I have to get the funds to get Wilson in. But, if Wilson keeps scoring, then it's a possibility again, really. He had a brilliant season last season. Fraser's been a bit of a weird one, but because he was one of what I was thinking about getting in. At the start of the season seems like a really long way away, even though it's just like towards the end of September now. And yeah, Everton assets. They were with Charleston I had in, Sigurdsson I had in. I was thinking about Moyes Keane, all these guys, and it's just like they've just done terrible. So it's just interesting how things change over the course of a few game weeks.
Well, talking of Everton, your opinion on what on earth is going wrong with Everton? They can't seem to score. They now all of a sudden are conceding goals. I mean, your thoughts on Everton?
It's a bit of a joke. I mean, they finished the season really well last season, or they were tightening up at the back and seemed to be. But they've signed a lot of players, and like I guess when you sign a lot of players, they're not always gonna gel together straight away, and they're just toothless up front. I mean, Moise Keane is still not really finding his feet. Richarlison's been blanking, and they've had some bad results. I think their confidence is just. I mean, to lose at home to Sheffield United, that was, yeah, it's a shocking result, to be honest with you. And people were talking about Everton possibly top 6 this season. They've got to kind of turn it around again. And the manager, he looks stressed when I was watching Match of the Day on Sunday morning. He looks older. Like, it's like aged terribly over the last few weeks. So they need like a bit of magic from Sigurdsson or Richarlison again. But at the moment, their confidence is just shot.
Well, you mentioned stress, and I can't imagine any other manager going through more stress than Spurs' manager, Pochettino, losing 2-1 to Leicester. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, obviously you're loving it, but what is going on with Spurs? I mean, they haven't won an away game now in, I believe the statistic is they haven't won in 10 away games. I think. I mean that's atrocious for a team that are, let's be honest, are a top 3 team. But this season, they just. Do you agree with my statement as well that there just doesn't seem to be anybody that wants to win the league? I.e., you've got Man City and Liverpool that are dominating, and then you've got teams like Spurs, Arsenal that should be trying to take advantage of the, let's be honest here, the rubbish around them, and yet they're just dropping points left, right and centre. And this result against Leicester, I made the point that yes, Leicester are a very upcoming young English team there. Managed by Brendan Rodgers. He loves attacking football and everything. But I just think Spurs, with the quality of player, I think they should have just done, as you used to say on the podcast, a professional job. But they go and lose 2-1. Your thoughts on Spurs this season?
Do you know what? I mean, we'll get on to Leicester in a minute, but like, I think the thing with Spurs is that, like, obviously at home they're going to be a really tough task for anybody. But you've got to remember, like, the end of last season. As I always say, the end of a season can dictate the start of the season. Everyone's like, obviously, new kits, new signings, new players, everything new. But that doesn't change the end of a season. I mean, for Arsenal, defensively we were awful in the last 10 games of the season. If you remember, losing at home to Palace and losing 3-0 away to Leicester, of course. And like with Spurs, I mean, they had some iffy results towards the end of the season, losing away to Bournemouth. And it's funny, I mean, in the chat, Honey Glaze saying about Ericsson doesn't want to be there. I don't think his heart's in it, really, which is, when a player doesn't want to be there, it's a bit like bring up Sanchez again. When he didn't want to be at Arsenal, he was there for half a season and he'd have the occasional star performance, but you could kind of tell, like, his head was gone already. And I think that's affecting Spurs as well. I mean, Trippier's not there anymore. Apparently, he's doing well at Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
So that, that possibly could be a lot. He didn't have a good season last season, but, he's an international player, Premier League experience. And I think it's a loss to Spurs, really. So I don't know. I think for Spurs, it's just a case of, like, I don't know, really. I think it's a big psychological thing. I mean, they went 2-0 up against Olympiacos, and then the heads dropped, and they went 2-0 up against us. I think it's a big mentality thing, and I think behind the scenes as well, Pochettino's been, there's been some mumblings that he's not happy, and he's come out and said some stuff in the press about he's not in charge of the transfers, and maybe that's filtered down, and maybe it's like a bit of a hangover effect from the Champions League final as well, because he didn't really perform from that, and there's still a bit of a hangover from that, and I think Pochettino he just doesn't seem happy there anymore. And maybe he just doesn't think they can go any further. But, I mean, they've still got Son and Kane, Lucas Moura. These guys are fantastic players. So I think Son's a brilliant player. So,
well, actually,
I can't say I hope they pick it up, but,
You've got Son in your team, haven't you? What What are your
I haven't.
thoughts on? Oh, you have. Oh, sorry, I thought you did.
I considered getting him in. I mean, I had him in this time last season, and he was brilliant. So,
Well,
he could.
going on that, is Son one of those players that everybody should be owning because he is one of the key players for a top 4 team, essentially. He's basically playing out of position as well. Is he somebody that everybody should be getting in? Because obviously Jason's brought him in.
Yeah, I think he's. I don't know if you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. He's a key player, and also he was brilliant against Palace. He got the assist, didn't he, as well for Kane on Saturday? Lovely little flick. And when him and Kane are linking up, and Son's full of confidence, I think he's a great asset to get in for the transfer fee that he is. So yeah, I think Son's he's a kid, like you said, he's kind of out of position, and in those attacking areas, it's not attacking wise that Tottenham problems lies within. It's the defensive side of it that there's been a problem for them recently.
You mentioned you wanted to talk about Leicester briefly. If you want to just give us your thoughts on Leicester, but more importantly, their points from an FPL perspective just seem to be coming from all over the place. Like when you see, for example, how many goals they've scored, etc. They're just coming from all over the place. They're not specifically, for example, just specifically coming from Vardy and Maddison as an example. What is the reasoning, do you think, behind this?
Well, it's funny because obviously Maddison got the goal. He got the winner on Saturday. And when he was doing his interview afterwards, he was saying that, there was a stat saying that he's had like the most shots in the Premier League without scoring. And obviously he had a big sort of smile on his face. So maybe he can come good now. Like he had some really good form last season at certain points. He's still a young player, knocking on the door for an England call-up and things like that. So that's one possibility there. And then, you've got your mate Harvey Barnes as well. You got that screamer against Sheffield United. So it does seem to be from all over the different players. Ricardo got a goal, but the one guy you can kind of rely on, if you can fit him into your team, is obviously Vardy. And that goal that he scored, the first goal on Saturday, I just saw it and I just thought, this guy, he's still playing like he's 16 or 17. He's just, with his pace and everything and his enthusiasm for the game. I mean, against Bournemouth, he was just unplayable. And it's just whether or not you can fit him in to your front line. A lot of people go in like top heavy in the midfield, and whether you've got that budget to be able to bring him in. I mean, I see in the chat they're saying about Perez. I had him in, and that was like, why my team was kind of struggling. I thought, Perez will be great. He was good at Newcastle, always rated him, but he's kind of not playing maybe in his preferred position and hasn't been getting involved as much as perhaps he'd like to be. So yeah, Leicester. I mean, they're a good team, and but from an FPL perspective, the guy you can rely on is Vardy. But have you got the budget to get him in? I mean, I can't, but if you can fit him in.
I'd rather spend 0.6 more to get Firmino in personally.
Yeah. I mean, Firmino, obviously, for me, he's like that underrated player. Only underrated by people who don't know football. But yeah, obviously, when you play FPL, when you watch football, you realise how good a player Firmino is. And got that goal against Chelsea yesterday, and playing with a smile on his face with his really white teeth. And yeah, I think Firmino is a good shout.
You said that you comprehensively said, I knew Burnley would beat Norwich, and everybody laughed at me when I predicted we'd beat them. They all said that, words to the effect of, you don't know what you're talking about, Steve-O, and I do. And why did you think that we'd beat Norwich?
Just like I say, obviously I kind of avoid the scores and that, and I watched Match of the Day, and even not knowing the score, I can just tell, because it's like, when, no disrespect to Norwich, but when a smaller team beats a giant, then they play, they're playing Burnley away, and it's like after the Lord Manor show.
Yeah.
It's always the case. It's always the case, mate. And I just watching Burnley on the highlights. I mean, they were just zipping it about. McNeil was looking dangerous, and obviously got an assist in that. And yeah, I mean, Chris Woods. I remember when you signed Chris Woods, and you were like, you weren't really rating him. I said, this guy's good. I mean, he got 10 Premier League goals in his first season, and he's always a threat. And it was just a case of like, I don't really think Norwich had many major opportunities, but I just knew that Burnley would be kind of tight and direct, and it would be a different game to Man City. They couldn't counter-attack them, and I just had that feeling. I didn't put any money on it, but I probably should have. But, so much for dead cert bets.
Well, I mean, you just mentioned Man City there. I don't want to go over them because they're a bunch of freaks, but in one word, in a one-word answer, should Watford automatically be relegated after losing 8-0 to Man City?
No.
that was two. No.
That's me being my diplomatic soft self. Like, obviously, I don't want to offend any Watford fans out there, and obviously, Elton John and all that. But yeah. I mean, that was just like the PlayStation score, ridiculous.
It's pathetic. Talking of, I say pathetic. Were you shocked at West Ham beating United 2-0?
Not really. I mean, United have got they've got the injury problems at the moment, and I mean, when you and Jason were doing the preview I think it was Thursday, I always go along with it and think the score in my head. I did think United might kind of like scrape a win just because they've beaten Leicester, and they beat Astanta I think that's how you say it, in the Europa League. So they got a couple of wins under the belt, do you know what I mean, to get the confidence up. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just been a great weekend for me, football-wise and FPL-wise, because obviously United got done, Chelsea got done, Spurs got done, Arsenal got the win. So I'm happy as you can be, football-wise,
Well, finally, you just mentioned Chelsea there. They apparently look really good in the second half. Your thoughts on, my opinion on Wolves is that they're just going to be drawing every single game this season. They're never going to win a game, and they're never going to lose. I know they've lost. I'm just being facetious, but they just seem to draw every single game. Liverpool, however, I just think that Jurgen Klopp is just literally saying, just score goals. I don't care about anything other than just score, score, score. Would you agree with that opinion? Would you disagree? Your thoughts on Liverpool in general, and do you think they are going to win the league this season?
Yeah, it's funny because I had this conversation last night tonight. I mean, I think Liverpool got a great chance of winning the league. To be honest with you, now they've got this lead at the moment, and the thing with Liverpool at the moment is they've got that kind of aura around them. They're the champion holders at the moment. Go to Chelsea, and there's going to be that bit of fear playing against Liverpool at the moment, and I think he's just letting them express themselves, and Trent Alexander-Arnold with that goal yesterday, which was fantastic, and they've just got all the ingredients for a really good team with world-class players, and they've obviously got the backup as well off the bench, and they've just got a fast. Obviously, at home, Liverpool they're just crazy. I mean, obviously go back to last season, smashing Barcelona 4-0, and the Everton, I think they beat PSG that season as well, and obviously going on to win it. And being at Anfield, it just, being so close to the supporters and the support that they get, it must just make such a massive difference, as much of a good team as they got. I mean, when you look at the atmosphere at the Emirates in comparison to the atmosphere at Anfield, there's just no comparison. And I think Liverpool, but you can't rule out Man City. It's too early for people making these sort of knee-jerk judgments. But I think Man City, at the moment, Liverpool are favourites to win the league, and I think they'll win the league. That's me putting my, sticking my chest out and saying what I think. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you there. Now, Dan, it's the Cash Mini League review show. Basically, you are. Let's just do the maths here. 405 minus 3. This is ridiculous, isn't it? -348, -348. You are 57 points off 4th spot. Do you think you have a chance of getting that 4th spot in the position that you're in now, where you're 59th?
Yeah, why not? I mean, funny enough, I watched the special with the FPL Wildcats last week, and that was obviously really good. And I think then Freya was saying about being really far off a mini league rival. I mean, at the end of the day, Steve, there's no point in me being in the league if I don't think I can get into the top 4. But the standard in this league is ridiculous, and I think this season, obviously, me not being on the podcast is like, it's kind of less pressure for me. And ironically, watching the podcast means I get all the tips and advice that I need, and perhaps what I ignored when I was actually on the pod, because you take that step back. And I've got to just keep on going and not. I think the key thing for me, like, is not panicking, because like last season, and ironically, again, I can ring in and talk to you and Jason, and you can talk sense into my head rather than trying to do some, obviously. I mean, I was thinking about taking De Bruyne out at some point last week, and that's just bonkers. It defies all logic. So, as I say, I'm more focused on the Torbay Elite, because the standard of player isn't obviously anywhere near as good as the Elite FPL. No disrespect, but there's the chance to get some money and get in the top 4. But who knows? It's we've just had Gameweek 6, still got chips to play. Very long season ahead, so it's going to be interesting.
Dan, all I can say is thank you for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I will say that you're going to be joining us live. Well, you're going to be special guest host on the anniversary show on November the 1st. So for anybody that's just joining us live right now, myself, Dan, and Jason will be doing a live stream celebrating all things Elite FPL. Just some quick thoughts on the fact that it's November the 1st, and that will have been a year since we did a first ever live show. Just quick thoughts on that.
No, yeah, I mean, I think the thing is just like, it's just insane how quickly time goes.
Yeah.
And also, it's just insane the constant evolution of the channel, and that's obviously due to the hard work yourself and Jason put in every day. And when I say every day, I mean every day. I mean, it's just crazy. But I mean, the evolution of it from us doing it in a Facebook group, me recording it on the phone, everything's got to start somewhere, and now to be what it is just crazy. But it's just, I think, as everyone says, the differential about this particular podcast is the community involvement and feeling like you're part of something, being able to have your voice live on the channel. And that's, I will say this live on air, that's what makes it the best FPL channel out there. And that's not me saying that because I used to be on it and et cetera, et cetera. It's just my personal opinion. So I'm really looking forward to coming back on. And yeah, it's been a pleasure.
No, Dan, thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll speak to you whenever.
All right, mate. Take care, yeah. Cheers.
Cheers, dude. There's former co-host Dan. An absolute pleasure having him back on. Just, I say just for tonight, but for tonight we've gone. Thanks to him coming on, really, we've gone on for an extra 24 minutes than expected. But I am going to be calling it a night, everybody. Tonight was just all about the Elite FPL Cash mini league that you guys are part of. It's very self-indulgent for everybody that's part of it. I hope you enjoyed the show this evening. For anybody that has been asking the question in chat, has Steve-O hit the wildcard button? The answer is no. I don't need to hear. I don't need to hit the wildcard button at the end of the day. It's just thought processes that people like myself, people like Jason, speak out loud. The problem is that we're quite literally having those thought processes out loud to 100 people or whatever watching the show, and then we'll get 500,000 people commenting saying you should do it, you should do it, you should do it. And we get caught up in the herd mentality. We get caught up in the whole, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and you feel like, Christ, I better do it because there are, 20 people saying I should do it. I'm not listening to this. And as people have been saying, I don't need to wildcard. And I agree. And as Statman said the other day, listen to your own advice. As GW6 keeps saying, hashtag play your own game. I was thinking about it this morning. I'm just like, do you know what? I think I'm probably going to go up to game week 8 international break. So we'll just quickly go over what those fixtures will be in game week 8. And so that's Saturday the 5th of October. Blimey. Wow. Okay. Bloody hell, October's come quick, hasn't it? So Saturday 5th of October and then Sunday obviously the 6th. This specific game week is when I'm going to reassess for myself everything. And at that point it's going to be a case of, do I need to get Son in? Do I need to get Aguero in? Do I need to stick with Salah, or is Mane and Firmino getting the points? How well is Pukki doing? De Bruyne, is he still continuing to be a freak of nature? Are teams in the next 2 game weeks, admittedly it's only 2 game weeks, but are teams keeping clean sheets, or is it just best to go with ultra cheap? Maybe have one quote-unquote premium defender, but overall, maybe just sticking with cheap defence. I don't know, but I think I'm just going to reassess everything. I'll have 2 weeks to mull over whether I do a wild card or not. And yeah, I'm just happy with this team. There's nothing wrong with it. And yeah, that's the end of that discussion. I don't want to hear any more people asking me about a wild card. But anyway, so yeah, I can only thank Dan for coming on for the last half an hour or so. That was absolutely fantastic. His thoughts from a real life perspective on what he thinks about everything. But yeah, FPL mechanic, you need to wild card now. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Anyway, but all I can say is, thank you for enjoying the show. It's the usual admin now, so see you later, everybody. This is the boring bit. So as you are walking along out of here, just again, simply hit that like button. Last night's stream was a record for the amount of people that liked the old stream. Last night's stream has proved to be very, very popular. Indeed, I can see a lot of views. A lot of people clearly enjoyed it. A lot of people enjoyed the callers. There was a lot of diverse callers. I listened to the stream back, and with the odd plonker here and there, last night's callers were superb. There was a few gems in there, and I really, really... And that's what we do the show for. For the majority of the callers that come on, there are some absolute gems, and the information that you get out of these people, a bit like Dan that's just come on air just now, some of the information that you receive from these people is gold dust. And it really does help you build an opinion on moving forward with fantasy football. But yeah, so like I said, as you're leaving this evening, if you just like to hit a like button and show your support for myself and Jason, and it's the usual thing really. If you have enjoyed the content that pretty much I've been doing over the last week or so, because Jason's been on holiday, and you haven't subscribed but you keep coming back, just hit that subscribe button. It's quite simple, really. We do pretty much produce content on a daily basis. We are about to hit 2,500 viewers, which could mean the old shot. But you never know. You'll never know. You'll find out on Thursday, maybe. But just a quick one, really. That on Wednesday morning there is probably going to be an Elite FPL breakfast show. I'll be going live approximately 6 or 7 o'clock AM UK time. So I'll repeat that, Wednesday morning, the Elite FPL breakfast show with myself, that will be going live approximately 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. If you want to join us, but it's predominantly for our Southern Hemisphere fans. It's in respect to you guys in the Southern Hemisphere. So for all you guys that watch us on the replay, you'll be able to join us live. It is quite a popular show, to be honest with you, and we do get some fantastic calls on. The only way you can find out if we are going live or not is on Twitter and Discord. So Twitter and Discord, but on Twitter we are at Elite FPL. It's the same for Instagram, at Elite FPL. In fact, Dan, you've just heard him just now. He is the guy that is running our Instagram page. So at Elite FPL for Instagram, at Elite FPL on Twitter. Other than that, Jason is back on Thursday. But what I can reveal is that we may be having a special guest on Thursday as well. So myself and Jason could be joined by a special guest. It's not confirmed yet. I've messaged the individual to confirm if they're available to come on or not. So wait and see for that. Again, stay tuned on Twitter. As ever, to get live on air, all you got to do is join the Discord group. It is an absolute ginormous community that is being built, and if it wasn't for the moderators, to name a few, and I apologise for missing out some, but Daily Llama, FPL Boona, Matt Brunton, Davey P, Andy, Resi Desi, Brett Mollison, G-Wiz, of course. If it wasn't for you guys, I don't know how on earth me and Jason would cope, but yeah, if you want to join the Discord, by all means, jump in there and we'll be able to get you. You can join us live on air whenever we go live. So other than that, I've really enjoyed that. I really do appreciate Dan coming live on air. Absolutely fantastic. Other than that, thank you for joining me, and yeah, see you on Wednesday. Take it easy, guys.